श्री कृष्णा श्री कृष्णा श्री कृष्णा श्री कृष्णा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। When we studied Vedanta Prasthanatrayi, as they call it, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra, Prasthanatrayi. And here we talk about non-dual Ekameva Dvitiya Neha Nanasti Kinchana. And one point which is very emphatically emphasized is Rute Jnananna Mukti. Without knowledge there is no liberation. And it so happened that this book, Amritanubhav, it came in my hand. And when I was reading that, this happened many years before, more than 30 years, 35 years. So, when this book came in my hand, there I came one sutra. And that sutra was Jnanam Bandha. Knowledge is bondage. And all what I have been studying was without knowledge there is no liberation. And here it tells knowledge is bondage. And it has paralyzed me completely. Because both the authorities, it's not just ordinary books. And then it was troubling me. How it is possible, knowledge, bondage, all Upanishad, are they wrong or what? Only what Jnaneshwar Maharaj has said, it is bondage, therefore it is true. And it made me sufficiently disturbed. It so happened once I went to Ganeshpuri near Bombay. There is one Swami Nityananda Maharaj, he is no more. So when I went for darshan, one German lady came. I don't know where from she found me. And she came and gave me one gift. And she said, I know giving you any other thing you will pass on to somebody. Therefore I want to give you something which you will hold on. And then I saw. And that book was Shiva Sutra. So I have heard Brahma Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Narad Bhakti Sutra. What is the Shiva Sutra? Shiva Sutra. So I just opened that book. And when I opened, this sutra came. Knowledge is bondage. And as if I was so happy, found out the source, where from knowledge is bondage. And from then onward, this comes in Ishwar Advayavad, or it is also called the Kashmiri Shaivism. It is non-dual duality. See? Non-dual duality. Where the duality is respected without loss of non-duality. See? In one of these writings, he writes, if the investment of non-dual is protected and the dividends of the duality is gained, what is the loss? See how beautiful it is? This is the approach. And then the whole thing was studied, and thereafter this whole understanding about life, about spiritual practice has undergone tremendous change. Otherwise the same thing, Bhagwan said like this, Bhagwan said like this. But what you have to say? This is how this book has come. Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj has commented on Bhagavad Gita. It is called as Bhavartha Deepika. It is not Bhashya. There's a difference between. Bhagwan Shankaracharya wrote Shankara Bhashya, Bhagavad Gita Bhashya. Bhashya means every word is taken into account and the position and the purpose of the word is indicated clearly. That is Bhashya. And Bhavartha Deepika, what is the import of that statement? So it is not Bhashya. That is how that Jnaneshwari came out. He delivered those lectures those days, and one of his followers, Sachidananda Baba, he wrote the whole thing. After that was done, then he gave it to his Guru Nivruttinath, his elder brother. So when it was seen by him, he was very cool and he said, "What is the great you are telling? What Bhagavan Krishna has said, the same thing you are telling in Marathi. What he said in Sanskrit, you are telling in Marathi. What is your contribution? Cut paste, copy paste. And now for translation also you don't require brains. There are softwares available. When I go to China, I use that. You talk to somebody in English and the software tells in Chinese. Now the Chinese talks in Chinese and I get hear it in English. That also you don't require anything. So what is great that you are written this thesis, Jnaneshwari, Bhavartha Deepika. Then he said, why don't you write your experience? And as a result of his Guru's instruction, he has composed this Amritanubhav. This is the genesis of this book. Now, Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj was following the Nath Sampradaya. See? Nath Sampradaya or Datta Sampradaya or the Kashmiri Shaivaism or the Siddha Marga or the path of Kundalini. These are all synonymous. They are all the same. And therefore, if you see the commentary in Bhagavad Gita on the 6th chapter, nowhere Bhagavan Krishna has mentioned the Kundalini. But because Jnaneshwar Maharaj was following this path, he has put that inside. How the things happen and this serpent power rises and she starts eating this chakra, that chakra and all that. Because that was his stay. That was the one what he was following. In this manner, this Kashmiri Shaivaism is the mainstay of this book. However, we'll come across many places. He has quoted Bhagavad Gita as well as Upanishad. And when I saw this khichdi, then it started making again some ripples in my thinking. And after having studied both the branches, Shankar Vedanta and this Kashmiri Shaivaism exhaustively, then we came to a conclusion. Those who are the followers of Shankar Vedanta, they disregard or they look down upon the Kashmiri Shaivaism, the path of Kundalini. We'll see the Vedanti, these are Udgai Kundalini. They make fun of it. So they do not appreciate this Kashmiri Shaivaism. And the Kashmiri Shaivaism people, they make fun of these Vedantis. Oh, Vedanti means what? Mayavadi. See? Only mithya, mithya, mithya. And thus both of them contradict each other. So when I studied both of them, then I came to this conclusion. Their standpoint is to be understood. So if a glass is filled with half with the milk, then how you look upon that? Now those who will look at the empty side, they will forget the milk side. And those who will see the milk side, they will forget the empty side. And those who will see the whole glass, they will enjoy both. Jitna hai, pee lo. See friends, this is how this Amritanubhav tells. Now here the main philosophy is to be clearly understood. What is called Brahman in Vedanta Upanishad is called Paramashiva. in this Kashmiri Shaivaism. It is synonymous, whether you call Param Shiva or Brahman. Now, this Brahman has its inherent potentiality. This inherent potentiality is called a Shakti. Examples are given like the fire and the burning power, or the sandalwood and its fragrance. They cannot be separated, they are together. So in this manner, Paramatma, Brahman or Param Shiva is inheriting in his own being his own potentiality. Now this potentiality is called in Shaivaism as Shakti. In Vaishnava Tantra, it is called as Radha. It is one and the same thing. Names are different. Therefore, you will see in Vaishnava Tantra, they have got a photo of Bhagwan Krishna and Radhaji intermingled together. And you don't know which hand is whose and whose leg is whose. They are so much intermingled. It is like the fire and the heat. You cannot separate them, but yet they are separate. This is the principle taken as the foundation of further explanation. And what is called Shakti in this Kashmiri Shaivaism is called as Maya or Avyakta. Bhagavan Shankara says in Vivek Chudamani, Avyakta Namni Paramesha Shakti. It is called as the Avyakta, unmanifest. Like, for example, whether there is heat in the fire or not. How do we know? Now, what is the fire element, Teja, Agni? It is that which supports the form, Rupa Tanmatra. So, all the forms are supported by this element fire. But what is burning the things? The burning power of the fire, when it is invoked, then all that was supported by the same fire is burnt away. So the burning power of the fire is known only after manifestation. They are very subtle, so be attentive. Now in the fire, other than the fire, there is nothing. So the burning power cannot burn the fire. Like the water, it has got its own potentiality, Shakti, because of which the water can become the ocean and it can become the wave. Now in the water, there being nothing other than the water, where will this potentiality of the water act? So it acts on the water itself. And then something appears, and that appearance is called as ocean or waves. So when this potentiality of the water is responsible for creating ocean or the waves, the water doesn't get drowned in the ocean and it doesn't break when the waves break. This is how this world, although created by the Shakti on Paramatma, so the Paramatma himself, the Paramashiva himself, is appearing as the world. And this is what this philosophy says, that when the water becomes ocean and waves, it doesn't lose its waterness. It continues to be water. Exactly. When Paramatma becomes the world, when Paramatma becomes the Jiva, when Paramatma becomes the Ishvara, he doesn't lose his status. He continues to be that. And therefore, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Like when a man becomes husband, he doesn't cease to be a man. He continues to be a man. Therefore, remaining as a man is the non-dual investment. Becoming a husband is the dividends of miseries. In this manner, the creation is creation without creating differences. And therefore, you can never hate what is included in the definition of I. It is on the basis of this foundation that the whole Amrita Anubhav is built. There are 10 chapters. It's a huge book. You will have to study it sincerely. And only those who are lucky enough they will study it. It is not for any Tom, Dick and Harry. It requires commitment. And when you start studying, then you see you will get a different fragrance of life. Don't require anything to be sprayed upon. So how the whole thing is explained? Param Shiva, number one, his potentiality is recognized. Then he is called as Shiva. Now what are his potentiality Shaktis? So Sat is the absolute reality, the Brahman. But this Sat is not opposed to Asat. See, we know that existence which is opposed to non-existence. We know happiness which is not misery. Deep sleep happiness is what? Absence of miseries. It is not absolute happiness. Absolute happiness is that which is not enhanced by the happiness and that which is not corrupted by the miseries. That is the absolute happiness. Similarly, absolute existence is unopposed to the non-existence, and therefore it is beyond the language of is and is not. That is the Brahman, that is Param Shiva in this philosophy. Now this Param Shiva or the Brahman has his own potentiality, is called as Shakti in this, and in Vedanta it is called as Maya. Now when this Maya Shakti is invoked, it has got 5 stages. So Brahman, absolute, cannot be indicated by anything. His potentiality starts expressing first Chit, knowledge. So Brahman, Sat, potentiality Shakti, Chit. Expression of that Chit or Shakti is Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now for the expression in a proper way, there are 3 more Shaktis required. One is Ichha Shakti, the desire. Second is the Jnana Shakti, the knowledge. And the 5th is, the last one is the Kriya Shakti. So 5 of them. Imagine my hand as the Brahman and he has got 5 Shaktis. One is Chit Shakti, Ananda Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. 5 of them. Now with the help of these 5 Shaktis, the whole creation is brought into existence. See? And then this Paramatma, this Ishvara, he has expressions in different ways. There are limitations imposed on itself, and these limitations create an individual out of the infinite. Now those limitations are, first is the Kala. These are called Kanchukas, limitations. Kala, like moon has got 16 Kalas. Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturtiya, etc. So that which is having fractions. So that infinite which is reduced to the finite, this is the first Kala by which the absolute has come down to the relative. The second is the Kala. Kala is the time, that which is beyond the limitations of the time. How the limitations of the time are created? By the projection of the past and the future. When the past and the future is projected, the present is divided into 3. Past, present and future. Second. The third limitation is Raga. Raga is desire. See? When there is no desire, you are happy. When there is a desire, we are miserable. So what we do? We fulfill the desire. And we know only one way to get rid of the desire. There is only one way, and that one way is fulfill the desire. I want a cup of tea in the morning. If I don't get, I am angry. Why? The mind is agitated. The desire is there. Tea. And when I get a cup of tea, aha. So I imagine that I am getting happiness from the tea, but actually it was the disturbed mind was quietened with a cup of tea. Therefore, happiness came not from the tea but from the quietened mind. But this the jiva, the individual, doesn't understand, and he becomes an addict to fulfillment of desires. Therefore, if we see our life, what we have done in our whole life, only one thing: try to fulfill our desires. बालस्तावत् क्रीडासक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणी रक्तः वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तासक्तः परमे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न रक्तः भज गोविंदम भज गोविंदम. Whole life is only a futile attempt to fulfill the desires. Desires can never be fulfilled. Maha Ashana. Fulfill one desire, second is in the queue. Fulfill the second, third is in the queue. It can never be fulfilled. So this raga is the third limitation imposed on the infinite. Then the fourth is the vidya. See, vidya is the finite aspect of the knowledge. We want to know, but we are unable to drop our limitations. So with the eyes, I want to see God. With the eyes, I want to see the space. And when I want to see the space with the eyes, what I see is the optical illusion. And therefore, the truth is beyond the instruments of knowledge purview, but we are constantly struggling to experience that divine through the limitations of the sense organs. See, friends, 4 of them, and the 5th one is niyati. Niyati is individuality has no existence apart from the totality. Whether we want or we don't want. See how the impact of totality happens on individuality. If you see well-educated people from any place, like if you go to Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, in the Tamil language, there is no difference. Ka varga, cha varga, ta varga, tha varga, pa varga. So, ka, kha, ga, gha. So, it is the same. So, Sudhakar. What they will pronounce, they also do not know. Sudagar. The Saudagar is different than Sudhakar because there is no difference between ta, tha, da, dha, na. Therefore, when they chant Vishnu Sahasranam, Om Gadadharaya Namaha, poor Vishnu is having Gada in his hand, but in Tamil there is no difference between the and the. So Vishnu says, I will not come. Now, if you go to Bengal, now the totality, if you see the pronunciation over there, so Vakar becomes Bakar. So actually it is a Vangadesh. It has become Bongadesh. See? Therefore, this totality influences the individuality. And in this manner, these are the 5 limitations which are imposed on the infinite. And out of the infinite, a finite comes into existence. Now the desire aspect. As long as we are carrying the burden of desire, we are in bondage. This is according to Shankar Vedanta. See, and according to this Kashmiri Shaivism, bondage is we are holding on to the limited and do not want to attain the infinite. Therefore, whenever we are talking about spiritual practice, one thing we should be clear: fulfillment of desire is not spirituality. That is samsara. You go to any worldly places or even the temples, all the karma kanda, puja, poti, only one thing: my desire should be fulfilled. And the desire is fulfilled. Then next is standing. Therefore, if we really want to walk spiritual path, we simply say, what is that? Jo thari rahe so mari rahe. We should mean that whatever is needed for us, that is provided by the Lord. Simply chanting will not help. Ananya Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. When the Lord has promised, I shall take care of your needs. So whatever is needed for us, that alone is given to us by the Lord. What is not needed, He will not give. See friends, Kshema, whatever is to be protected, He will protect. The idea is we are to get rid of this virus of desire, like we have got corona. This is the kamana. So kamana, corona, you are walking the spiritual path. And once this becomes the mainstay of our lifestyle, then we have entered the spiritual path. And then the limitations, because of these 5 things, they are divided into 4 types. One is called as the Anuvamala. Anu in Jainism, the Jiva is called as Anu. So Anuvamala meaning we are all the fractions of the infinite. And it is not created, it is like that. Like the drops, they are out of the water, nobody created, they are there. Anvamala. Then second is the impurity because of the desire. The third is the impurity because of the karma. So to get rid of these impurities, different paths are indicated. And when we follow that, ultimately we come to this non-dual reality, although expressing through the duality. And therefore, in this path, we are not discarding anything as illusion. Now, after this is understood, now let us go to the Shankar Vedanta. It's very important thing to know, understand. When Shankar Vedanta tells that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, we have to understand the correct meaning of the word Mithya. What do we mean by Mithya? See, Mithya means this mic exists, I also exist. So existence-wise we are one. So the sense of otherness, which is not real, like the man and the husband, we are talking of two, but essentially they are one. So the sense of otherness is Mithya, and therefore what is the way to get out of this Mithya impact? Don't search for the differences, but discover the identity, oneness, and be one with everybody. This is what is called as the meaning of Mithya. Now the second impact of the Mithya illusion is, whenever we recognize something as illusion, desires cannot happen about illusion. This is the most important thing. When we see the mirage waters, we don't desire, let me have a glass of mirage water, how it tastes like. No, it cannot be. When we see the rainbow, we don't go with a scissor and take a piece and give it to our beloved. I have got for you this rainbow piece. Not possible. Because it doesn't exist. It only appears. Similarly, the blueness of the sky. We don't say, I am fed up of the blue. Let me paint it some different. No. Because it is optical illusion. Therefore, when we take this world as an optical illusion or the illusion, net result will be, we will be free from the impact and the burden of desires. Like when we take our dreams, not real, they only appear and disappear. Then we don't desire the money that I got in the dream should be smuggled in the waking. No, it was just a dream. When this is clearly understood, then we lead our life in the light of this knowledge and wisdom. Then we don't have to achieve anything in this world. We don't have to protect anything in this world. Therefore, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. These words of Bhagavan Krishna we don't trust. We trust that useless LIC, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam, stolen from Bhagavad Gita and claiming to be their own. See, therefore, this text, one of the most wonderful, it has changed me tremendously. It's extremely good. So, if you want to know, after we go Swamiji, what we will do? Study. And when you start studying this, then slowly, initially don't worry whether you are clearly understood. Complete one reading. Again start. And then the whole secret will be revealed to you. And this is how Jnaneshwar Maharaj begins his text with Mangalacharanam. Mangalacharanam is invocation of the auspiciousness before we begin anything. What we call in Upanishad as the Shanti part. Om Bhadram Karnevi Shrunuyama Deva Bhadram Pashyema Akshavirya Tirairangai Sushtuagam Sastanubihi Veshema Devahitam Yadayuhu. By this we invoke the divine grace. Now here Jnaneshwar Maharaj invokes this divine grace. Yat Aksharam Anakheyam Anandam Ajam Avyayam Srimannivruttinatheti Khyatam Daivatam Ashraye. Ashraye, I take refuge. Where Khyatam, very well known, Prakyatam. What is that? Srimannivruttinath iti. His Guru's name was Nivruttinath. Therefore I told the Nath Sampradaya. Badrinath, Kedarnath, see, Nath Sampradaya. Sai Nath, they all belong to that category. They fall in the category of avatar. You and me are born under compulsion. Like a person, a criminal, has to go inside the jail under compulsion. The jailer, he goes and comes out of the jail, not under compulsion, under free will. You and me are in this world under compulsion. And therefore, we have no choice. Who are our parents? Who will be our children? Where we will be born? What will be the type of health we have? Zero choice. Like a criminal, he doesn't have a choice. Do you have a jail with AC and TV? This is available in Australia and USA. Because in USA, these prisons, it is an industry. And per prisoner, government has to pay to that industry, this owner of that particular jail, that much amount. And therefore, the number of people in jail in USA is more than they are out. See, USA is a country of only how much money we can make out of anything. Anything is okay if it can be converted into industry. Yoga, for example, okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, okay, industry. Therefore, here the teacher is telling that Sriman Nivrutti Natheti. So, Nath Sampradaya Mahatmas, they fall in a different category. We fall in a different category. Like you see, many great Mahatmas, about their past is not known. Now take for example, our Ananda Mahima, hardly we know anything. Only she was born here and there, but she was not like us. She didn't go to school, colleges. Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he didn't go and study anywhere. They are called as Avatar Purushas. See, in the latest times, you take our Shirdi Sai Baba, you take Satya Sai Baba, you take this Mahatma from Ganesh Puri. They are falling in the category avatar. They descend. They come from the Adi Daivik area. all the characters in our Puranas and the Mahabharata and Ramayana, they fall in the category of avatar Purushas. So we are born under the cycle of karma, and they come in this world with a view to help the society, to help the world. So Nath Sampradaya is that Sriman Nivrutti Natheti. Even the Nivrutti Nath, if you will have given in detail the life story of Nareshwar Maharaj, read it. It is not like you and me. Four of them, it appears as if it is the fictitious one, but it is so perfect. All the four of them, three brothers and sister, everybody is avatar, unique, and all of them, they have taken the samadhi. See? But the intellectuals then start giving the meaning. Nivruttinath, first step on the spiritual path is complete withdrawal. Second step, Jnaneshwara, knowledge. Third is the Sopana, you are going in the right direction. And fourth is the Muktabai, you are liberated. And they feel they have done good, but they are committing a great blunder. Like, you talk about Bhagwan Rama. Bhagwan Rama is the Atma, Sita is Shanti, Ravana is the Moha, and Kumbhakarna is the Ahankar, Lakshmana is the Vairagya. When you talk this kind of language, you are doing harm. Because when you start understanding them as concepts, the reality is gone. It is a historical fact that Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Krishna appeared. It is not only imaginary. Therefore, Nivruttinath is his guru, who is withdrawn completely. And the story tells, he was not like any average person. All the four brothers were born to a sannyasi, and therefore that time their parents were subjected to torture and finally excommunicated, and they had to end their life in jumping in the river. And there is four small kids. They had to prove their mettle right from their childhood age. Miles and walking, and this cannot be done by an average person, because they were Karan Purushas. Karan Purushas are the descent. Therefore, Sriman Nivrutti Natheti Khyatam Daivatam Ashraye. Therefore, in Nath Sampradaya, Guru Govinda Dou Khade Kake Lage Pai. There, Guru is more important than God. God is unmanifest. Guru is manifest God. See, friends. Therefore, this Nivruttinath Khyatam, known to that Daivatam, that is my God, that is my everything, I take refuge. Now, who is this Nivruttinath? Manifest is Nivrutti. Nivrutti, totally withdrawn. And who is he? Yat Aksharam, that which is not subjected to modification and destruction. Yat Aksharam, Yat Anakheyam, about which nothing can be spoken of. Anakheyam Anandam, that which is the infinite bliss. Please remember, Ananda does not mean the pleasure. Ananda means independence of anything else is Ananda. Anandam, Ajam, unborn, Avyayam, unmodified. This principle, the divine principle, manifests in the life of a seeker in the form of the Guru. To that Guru Maharaj, I take refuge, and he alone is guiding me on this path. And this is how he started. First, saluting his Guru. According to the Shastras, it is said, if you are in a temple and if your Guru is there, first you should do namaskar to the Guru and then to the God. If you are in front of your parents, mother and father, first you should salute your mother and then father. See? These are the simple rules. So he has first saluted his Guru Maharaj. Now he comes to the second. Guru Rityakhyaya Loke Sakshat Vidya Hi Shankari Jayatyajna Namastasyai Dayadrayai Nirantaram. Now second is Sakshat Vidya Hi Shankari. Guru Maharaj, first avatar of Paramatma. The second avatar of Paramatma is the Brahma Vidya. So if we want to get the Brahma Vidya, we have to approach the same thing Upanishad says, Tad Vijnanartham Guru Meva Vigachet Samit Panihi Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So we approach the Guru, and who is he? Guru Ityakhaya Loke Sakshat Vidya Hi Shankari. Guru is nothing but an embodiment of the Brahma Vidya. See, Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine. There is no Bheda. Guru and the knowledge, they are not separate. Like the sugar and the sweetness, they are not separate. Therefore, Guru Ritya Kya Loke Sakshat Vidya Hi Shankari. This is the Brahma Vidya. And therefore it is said, he who is surrendered, like in the life of Bhagwan Shankaracharya, Hastamalakacharya, he was absolutely uninterested in the life. And he was about 8 or 10 years. And when Bhagwan Shankaracharya happened to go, then he asked him, who are you? And that one question was enough to trigger all the knowledge and wisdom in him. And then he, the Hastamalakiyam, there are 10 shlokas he speaks. Up to that time, he was declared by the society, by his parent, that is a gone case. But when the right Guru came in his life, he had the knowledge like a fruit in the hand. Therefore, he was named as Hastamalakacharya. Therefore, Guru is that fire which will kindle the wisdom in the disciple. This is what is meant here. Guru Ritya Kya Loke Sakshat Vidya Hi Shankari. See, if you have read the life stories of many Mahatmas, like there was the first avatar of Bhagwan Dattatreya in Pithapur in Andhra Pradesh, and his name was the Sripad Sri Vallabha. Right from childhood, day one, he had all the knowledge. At the age of 1 year, he could quote scriptures, he could advise the people at the age of 1 year. Avatar. And he told, don't worry, I am not to live with you forever. Only up to 13 years he lived. Now my job is over, forget about me. Then he went to other place. There he lived for another 16 years. He said, my job is over, I am going. I will be born there. Then he was born there. These are not stories. This happens. Therefore, they belong to the Avatari Purushas. Nareshwar Maharaj belonged to that category. And therefore, what knowledge he is giving is not out of hat, but the direct descending from the divine. Therefore, Guru Itya Khaya Loke Sakshat Vidya Hi Shankari Jayatyajna Namastasya Dayadrayai Nirantaram. So we salute to that Guru Maharaj, who is the very embodiment of the Brahma Vidya, and Dayadrayai Nirantaram. He is an ocean of compassion. To that Guru Maharaj I salute, who is none other than the Brahma Vidya. Now the third thing. So Paramatma descends as Guru. The Guru descends as the Brahma Vidya. In Ramcharitmanas it is said, Binu Hari Krupa Mile Nahi Santa. Divine grace showers on us when we come in contact with the Mahatmas. Upanishad says, Ishvaranugrahat eva pumsam advaita vasana. If we are attracted towards this Tattva, Advaita, Adhyatma, understand it is not the result of our karma. This is one thing we have to clearly understand. Karma phala is only of two types, joy and sorrow, sukha and dukkha. If we are coming in contact with the great masters, we are exposed to satsanga, it is not the result of the karma phala, but it is the divine grace. Therefore, those who have done upasana, how do we know that our upasana is successful? If our upasana leads us to inquiry, kastvam koham kutamayatah kame janani kome tatah iti paribhavaya sarvamasaram vishvam tyaktva sapna vicharam. When we are kindled with this inquiry, how long I am going to do this? In one text, Tripura Rahasya, do study that. That is another most wonderful text. There, this story goes. Parshuramji was frustrated when he was defeated by Bhagwan Ram. So whenever somebody gets frustrated, he goes to Himalayas. And he went from Himalayas to Malaygiri mountain in south. And he came across there one Brahmajnani Mahatma comfortably lying down, nothing to do, nowhere to go. In his very presence, that frustrated, dejected, angry Parshuramji, in his presence, experienced absolute peace, joy, happiness. Suddenly, he said, "Hey, what is this?" He said, "This is Brahmananda." You are simply naming. Tell me what is Brahmananda. You are not able to tell me. See, you are not able to tell me. It's not that I am not able to understand. Immediately the Guru Maharaj says, "Look here, you are intelligent and you require an intelligent Guru. Therefore you go to Bhagwan Dattatreya." And he goes to Bhagwan Dattatreya. And Bhagwan Dattatreya was told by him. I went there and there was some Mahatma, he could not explain me properly what is Brahmananda. Immediately, by looking at the envelope, the contents were read. They don't have to open the envelope. Then Bhagwan Dattatreya told, yes, Brahmananda is not like that. Anybody can get it. You have to do sadhana. What sadhana? You have to do upasana. What upasana? You have to invoke Tripura Devi. What is this Tripura Devi? Took one stone. This is Tripura Devi. These are the rules and regulations. Keep it there. Take cold water bath yourself. Give warm water bath there. Prepare chappan bhog. Give naivedya. You eat dry fruits. Give a comfortable bed for her to stay. You sleep on the floor. She will sit in one place. You go round and round. You chant this, you chant that. For how many days? Not much. One tapas. One tapas means 12 years. And he keeps on doing it. 1 day, 2 days, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 12 years. One day he said, "Come on, man, what I am doing? I am only telling she is Tripura Devi. She is not doing anything. Who is this Tripura Devi? I think I have wasted 12 years of my life." And in a frustration, he goes back to Bhagwan Dattatreya. "Sir, I think, I have wasted my time." "What happened? Who is this Tripura Devi?" "I don't know." He said, "Look here. Now your upasana is successful because now this inquiry has kindled in your heart. Who is Tripura Devi?" Therefore, the purpose of the upasana is not fulfilling the desires. If I do this thing, I will get that. If you do this thing, I will get that. Don't get carried away by all those dumb things. Such people come under the influence of this tantra mantra because they want something. See, aikagryatham upasanam. Upasana is done to kindle the inquiry in our heart. And thereafter, he tells the whole Tripura Rahasya story. What is Tripura Rahasya? Rahasya is the secret. What is the Tripura secret? We are living in the Tripuras. Jagrat, Sapna, Sushupti. The secret. And in the story of Hemachud and Hemalekha, the wife Hemalekha tells Hemachud, the husband, disciple, what is this you are doing meditation all the time? Come on, let's go and have nice fun. Don't you understand? I am doing meditation. And again, she said, listen. What do you get by closing the eyes that you lose by opening the eyes? Think. As you became now, he became that time. See? All these funny notions, meditation. We have to live in meditation 24/7. See? This is what is indicated by this Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is not. See, I told you also yesterday, we are tailor-made Babaji. Real Brahma Vidya is that wherein nothing disturbs us. The other day somebody asked me this question, Swamiji, why do you put on this type of dress? I said, okay, I'll remove. No. Questions have no meaning or anything. How are you growing beard? I said, I put manure there. It is not an act of commission. When you don't do anything, it grows, like the ignorance. See? So why this kind of dress? And the one who asked was a very elderly senior person. I can't brush him like that. I said, look here, imagine. On a main square on the road, there is a police. But he has put on lungi and gamcha. And then when the traffic comes, he says, Ruk jao. Will anybody listen to him? They will come and dash him. But the same person, when he puts on a proper dress, police dress, everybody listens. Therefore, remember, how you dress and how you address tells the quality of your life. It is necessary, both the things. Therefore, here the teacher says that we have first of all invoked God in the form of Guru, then we invoke the Brahma Vidya in the form of the Guru, then we come in the third. Sardham kena cha kasyardham shivayoho samarupinoho jnatum na shakyate lagnam dvaitacchalanmuho. Sardham kasya cha kena shivayoho samarupinoho. The fire and burning power. Fire is the Shiva, burning power is Shakti. The Shiva Shakti, who is with whom? Whether the fire is because of the burning power or the burning power is because of the fire, can we separate them? See? Therefore, Samarupino, they are equal and therefore, Jnatum na shakyate lagnam. Their duality can never be understood. And Dvaita Chalat, as if they are two, but they are essentially one. See, friends, somewhere in other country, I don't remember where, one couple, they were talking to me and they said, Swamiji, we are both of us constantly fighting. I said, I remember I came for your marriage about 10-12 years before. Yes, you are right, you came. I said, this also I remember what I told you. I told you, in marriage the mathematics is 1 plus 1 is 1. It is not 2. It is not 1 plus 1 is 11. It is 1. He said, that is what is creating problem. What is the problem? Which one? 1 plus 1 is 1. So here, Shiva and Shakti are one. Which one? Dvaita Chalat. The duality is Chala means an appearance, not real. So as, therefore, friends, those who are husband wife, they have got this little bit of wisdom. Both of, here itself he tells, both of them are complete because of each other. Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes in his stotra on Devi Bhujangam, there very clearly tells that fakir living in the smashan was given a status of the Vishwapita because of this Sati or Gauri. Without the wife, the man is incomplete. Without the man, the wife is incomplete. Again, questions. Swamiji, why the wife has to sit on the left side always? I say, look here. If you have 10 zeros, 1 0, second zero, does it have any value? No. Zero has no value. Whatever may be the zero, that zero gathers value when there is 1 behind. Therefore, the wife sits on the left side and then the zeros. Then that man has got a society value. Otherwise, you go in any ashram, any dharamshala, they ask you, are you alone? Hata. If you are married, you are okay. Therefore, there is no reason that we should have this approach of fighting with each other. Advaitam atmanastatvam darshayanto mitastaram tau vande jagatamādyo tayos tattvami pattaye. Therefore, Advaitam atmana tattvam darshayanto mitastaram. So, the two of them are indicating one reality. When this is clearly understood, then we will live in the relative world, but we will not be influenced by the relative world. Because the differences are dissolved in the understanding, and they are Tau Vande Jagatamādyo. They are the parents of this world, out of which Purusha Prakriti, the whole world has come. Mūlāya Grāya Madhyāya Mūla Madhyagra Mūrtaye Kshīnagra Mūla Madhyāya Nama Purnāya Shambhave. And all of them are nothing but the absolute, which is in the beginning, middle and the end, and without the beginning, middle and the end, that infinite reality, Shambhu, the Shiva, the Param Shiva, the Brahma, we salute by merging in that. This is how is the Mangala Charanam. And hereafter, he gives so many beautiful similes and such a poetic presentation. Please read, please read, please read. With this, we conclude our retreat for good. We will have our mantra chanting and then go.
Life is a time pass, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, पता नहीं, जो तारी राय सो मारी राय, nothing to do, nowhere to go, देखो सुनो मत बोलो. जाओ मत कहो, ना कुछ पाना ना कुछ खोना. Who asked you live at zero complaint level? मौज में रहो, be happy.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.